Welcome to the program, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Florida's longest-running radio show, the Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 48 years on the radio. Oh, man. That tar and feathering that President Trump did with this idiot, Jerome Powell, at the Fed yesterday was one of the most brilliant moments in presidential history, not just Trump history, presidential history. And, President Trump, that exchange, that moment, that visit yesterday to the Fed was so brilliant. President Trump is the most intelligent person ever to be president of the United States, and he showed that yesterday with this tar and feathering public flogging of Jerome Powell. So Jerome Powell, he's got all kinds of problems. The interest rates are out of control. President Trump's been talking about this. My wife and I, we were going to buy a new house a couple years ago, right? We're empty nesters now. We wanted to buy a new house. There were a couple of reasons we didn't. The HOAs up there. You guys in St. Lucie County, what's going on with 3 HOAs in a community? Oh, my goodness. But the interest rates were out of control. No way. I was going to buy a house with those loan shark interest rates that are going on. And President Trump has been talking about what an incompetent idiot Jerome Powell is for quite some time. So he took this tour of the Fed and he humiliated the guy all day long. Now, in many respects, Jerome Powell is the head of the Fed. If you're on hold, stand by. We'll get to calls in a little bit, but we got to go through this first before we go to the phones. In many ways, Jerome Powell he's in charge of the economy in so many ways. The Fed has a lot of power. Those interest rates make or break deals. If the interest rates drop down, I have my Vespa, the MAGA scooter. I saved up. I thought about buying one of those for a long time. I saved up and I went to pay cash for it. I got it a couple years ago. They gave it I had 0% interest on that. So I didn't pay cash for it. I financed it. It was 0% interest. And I was over at the Vespa dealership buying something not that long ago, and I asked him about it. He told me what the interest rate was at the time, and this was just a few weeks ago. It was high. There's no way. He says, it's killing my sales. People are ready to close, and then all of a sudden they get the interest rate. And it's not just at the Vespa dealership. It involves home sales, automobile sales, everything. And this guy, he thinks he knows better than Trump and everybody else about the economy. Well, President Trump, whose expertise is as a builder, he takes a tour of this absurdity of an overrun of the construction at the Fed. There are almost $1 billion over budget. And he knows construction, and everyone knows this. So this is when Trump's talking about building and construction and budgets, this is his expertise, and everyone knows that. Even the haters of Trump know that he knows everything about that. And he was talking about how they built a basement, which they didn't need, and because of the water there, they had to put in this tub thing and all this stuff that's very expensive. He pointed out everything that was going wrong. And it was a public flogging of Jerome Powell. And what President Trump was doing was showing America and the world that this guy who's messing up with all the interest rates, who thinks he knows how the economy works, look at how he's handling his personal economy over here at the Fed, where they're about $1 billion over budget and nothing's even close to being done. It was amazing. And then Jerome Powell, because he's one of these in love with himself Washington insiders, He helped Trump. He unknowingly, this idiot, gave Trump a little gift and a cherry on the top of the public tarring and feathering when they came up to the cameras in the white hard hats. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I'm going to play it for you in a moment, but when I saw this, I'm like, what? It was so insane. I said to myself, what? How did that happen? What? And I rewound it. Don't you love rewinding live TV? I say this a lot, but if my grandparents were alive today, if they came back alive and I showed them how you could rewind live TV, they would think I was practicing witchcraft. They would not be able to understand it. They just wouldn't, but it's amazing. I rewound it and watched it like 5 times. It was so exciting. And my daughter came over with a friend yesterday afternoon, and I told my daughter, I said, you got to see this. You got to see this. I showed it to my daughter. She was cracking up. She's like, oh, my goodness. So let me play this. If you're on hold, stand by. I'm going to be playing this throughout the show today. This moment that I'm going to play for you now with President Trump and this idiot fool, Jerome Powell, is, I believe, the most brilliant example that we've ever seen in public with a president doing something in presidential history. I mean, we've never seen brilliance like this. We've never seen humiliation like this done by any president of the United States. This isn't just the best moment for Trump. This is the best moment for all the other presidents, too, all the other 46. Well, you know, since he's the 45th and 47th, I guess I guess it is 40, is it 46 or 45 others? I don't know, I'm losing track, but he's 45 and 47. This is history we saw yesterday. All right, let's get to it. So this is when they come out with the hard hats on. And I loved it when President Trump pulls the thing out from his lapel. Okay, now I'll start it over. But when President Trump's talking, this idiot Jerome Powell with his grouchy face he's telling the president with his facial expressions that he's wrong and he's lying. Who does that to the president of the United States? And then he denies all of it, and then Trump goes into his lapel and pulls out all the. My goodness, what an idiot. What an idiot. He's at an unfinished construction site, almost $1 billion over budget. And Jerome Powell, I think he's so arrogant, I don't think he knew he was being humiliated by President Trump. And you know, those looks of disgust on his face and everything else that Jerome Powell was doing, that's how all of Washington feel about our great president, you know. He just came out of the closet and showed what they all think. That was beautiful. And he did this for a number of reasons. He wanted to humiliate this guy who's messing up the economy of the entire planet with his interest rates. But also, he's about to name his replacement for this idiot, Jerome Powell. So after this, whoever he picks, who I kind of like the Treasury Secretary, our openly gay Treasury Secretary, maybe it'll be him. But whoever he picks, he's going to have everyone behind him supporting it because they're seeing what a clown and a financial incompetent this guy is. Jerome Powell, what an idiot. Now, today is Friday. I can't believe it's Friday already. And, of course, on Friday's program, it is Open Phones on Friday. We call it Open MAGA Mike Friday. And on Open MAGA Mike Friday, you can call in about any and everything on your mind. But I would hope you'd have some comment on this because this is beautiful. Our number's toll free. It never gets old, does it? The last time I saw something this, I'm trying to think. I don't know. When is the last time I saw something so funny that I wanted to watch over and over again? I have to think about it. Oh, man. Our number's toll free, 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. A toll-free call no matter where you are tuned in at. Now, I want to talk about the free doorbell camera offer from Sloman's. And I just want to tell you guys, the doorbell camera from Sloman's is an absolutely amazing thing to have. And you can get one with the installation of your Sloman Shield. It connects directly to your cell phone. And I don't know how you guys are, but my wife and I, it's either Amazon, FedEx, or DoorDash or something coming to the house. My wife's disabled, so we do pretty much all of our shopping and everything online. And we get that notification when they get to the door, and we know who is there, so we can open the door for the right people and not for those door-to-door salesmen that don't, all the solicitors that can't read all the no soliciting signs in the community and in front of my house. It's a great thing to have, and you can get one for free with the installation of your Sloman Shield. Slomans, they're also going to give you a free customized home security system and professional installation when you use their low-cost central station monitoring. You get an LED touchscreen, a motion detector, 10 contacts, a lifetime warranty, and a backup battery. Plus, you'll receive a free doorbell camera with the installation of your Sloman Shield. All right, give them a call right now, no matter where you're located. Take advantage of this incredible offer. Toll free, 1-833-283-5050. That's 833-283-5050. 833-283-5050. We'll be right back. Oh, man. If you're on hold, stand by. I'll get to the calls after the break. Oh, I love it. I mean, that was one of my favorite moments in presidential history. Really. Oh, no. Without question. Without question. Now. Okay. If you're on hold, stand by. Now, if you are a Medicare recipient, if you're over 65 or turning 65, give Chapter a call. You know, there's over 24,000 Medicare plans, and Chapter has access to all of them. They can help you in any state that you're in. No matter which of the 50 U.S. states you're in, Chapter can help. The help is absolutely free. They're going to give you free advice. It costs you nothing. No pressure, no fees, no salesmanship, just expert guidance about your Medicare. You can save thousands of dollars a year by calling Chapter. The number's on the screen. Give them a call. And they'll go over everything. Make sure your doctors are covered. Make sure your prescriptions are covered. Make sure if you have a supplement, you got the right supplement. You're not paying too much for it. Give them a call. Again, whether you're a Medicare recipient now or will be in the future, give them a call. 805-754-3033. That's 805-754-3033 for Chapter. The number's also in the description of the video. If you missed the number, give them a call. Yep, no matter what state you're in. They're our first national sponsor to the program, so I'm very excited about that. So give them a call. Oh, this is a great time, people. Just a great time. I like where I paused Jerome Powell. I think I paused Jerome Powell at the perfect spot. Idiot. All right, about 30 seconds, we'll be back. We're back. My name's Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Call us on hold, stand by. I want to play this again before we go to the calls. The tarring and feathering and the brilliance of Donald Trump with this incompetent Jerome Powell, who's messing up the whole economy, and he's about $1 billion over budget on this. This is like the big dig that they used to have in Boston. Does anyone remember the big dig in Boston? Or that Governor Newsom, that high-speed train that they've spent all that money on and they haven't built? Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Jerome Powell. Is that not the best? Is that not the best? I love it. All right, let's take some of these calls. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Steve, Florida.
All right, speak up, Steve, from Florida.
So I'm calling about the last couple of days listening to your show, and these liberals calling in and insulting you. And I mean, these people they're unhinged. They're just I can't understand. They have nothing intelligent to say whatsoever. They're losing big time. Trump is winning every day. It's driving them crazy, and they can't handle it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is a party that they believe in, burning down police stations, shooting policemen, shooting our president, putting tampons in
the boys' room.
Boys' bathrooms.
Yes. Yeah.
How could you say and feel good, look yourself in the mirror and say that I'm a Democrat?
Yeah.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Yeah.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Being a Democrat today is like going to the hospital with dirty underwear. It's how could you not be humiliated? Oh, I lost you. They got to Steve from Florida. The line went dead. Oh, my goodness. I feel like Henry Fonda in Failsafe. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. Once, twice. Oh, I don't know. Maybe we got some phone issues. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, it's Jerome from California. How's it going, Steve?
It's Brian.
Oh, Brian, yeah. Steve was the last guy you were talking to.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Steve from Florida. Yeah, just wanted to talk and just talk to you and the boomers in your audience that say good morning 30 times in the web chat. The usual stuff. But what's going on with Powell? Why are you so upset? I thought we were talking about Tulsi, and I thought she was bringing forth like this huge expose that you're now not talking about. Is it to not talk about
it is Friday. I've been talking about it for 6 days. And she's brought a lot, and she brought everything.
Yet nothing's come to the table in litigation. Nothing's come in writing. Nothing's come in anything.
No, in fact, everything has come. Excuse me. Everything has come in writing. She has all the documents on her ex, Tulsi Gabbard.
Then it should be given to Congress, right? It should be given to everyone.
She gave it to the Attorney General of the United States. Excuse me. She gave it to the Attorney General of the United States, who has organized a strike force investigative team to investigate it. Yeah,
okay.
it's
so
going.
How would they investigate Obama if he's now immune thanks to your current president?
He's not immune.
He is.
No,
he is.
He's not.
Actions taken in office.
No, it's not actions taken in office. It's actions taken. Excuse me. It is
Brian,
actions.
I need you to come back to reality.
It is action.
I need you to come back to reality, Brian.
I'm gonna come back and hang up on you if you don't let me finish my sentences. Actions that they take in with their presidential duties, there's immunity from. But that doesn't mean presidents can rape, murder, steal, and beat women and kill puppies. Okay, it's not a license to do whatever you want to do.
Did Kristi Noem kill puppies? Wait, did Kristi Noem kill puppies? What are you talking about killing puppies for?
I know. I think there was one puppy in question that there was an issue with. Yes.
You're defending
she put down.
A pedophile.
All right. You sound hysterical. Why are you talking? Why are you talking so fast and rambling from one thing to the next? Yeah, think about that. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning, Brian. This is Richie.
Hey, Richie.
That was absolutely unbelievable yesterday. I mean, he made this idiot look like an idiot. And the fact people out there ought to realize that President Trump is on our side. He's fighting not just for the housing. The automotive industry right now in this country is dead.
The dealerships are closing.
Because of this guy.
Manufacturers are in trouble.
Because of this guy.
Yeah, not just that. And Biden with the electric car mandate, they had to raise the prices on all their vehicles because nobody's buying the electric cars. So the prices are sky high. The trucks are sky high. They're not, and the electrics are not selling. And now the interest rates are so high, the lots are just piling up with cars.
Well, what President Trump did with this idiot Jerome Powell is show what a clown he is. That can't even handle his own finances when he's $1 billion over budget. And it was so masterful. And then when Jerome Powell pulled this stunt at the end, Trump, he thinks on his feet. He just went with it and continued the tar and feathering. I've never seen anything like this with any president, and I've studied them all.
This is going to be quick. I got to go down memory lane with Hulk Hogan passing away.
Oh,
folks.
That's sad, yeah.
The Steve Kane show. I'm going back to the 80s, okay? The Starting Place, Dr. Red Roberts, Steve Kane, Brian Craig, Dr. Red Roberts, Rusty Brooks, the wrestling, Crocos. I mean, you guys, people don't realize the different.
A lot of people. What Richie's throwing out. Steve Kane was an official ring announcer for the WWF in the days of the peak of Hulk Hogan's fame, and was the ring announcer in many a wrestling match with the great Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan and all the rest. Did
you know that Rusty Brooks, you know who Rusty Brooks was? He was in Hollywood. He had his own wrestling. Rusty was Kurt Kosky was a bus driver for Broward County Transit.
Yep. I didn't know that. I did not know that. No.
Oh yeah.
When I was a kid growing up, my favorite wrestler was not Hulk Hogan, although we all love Hulk Hogan, but and he was MAGA. But I was always a Dusty Rhodes guy, and Dusty Rhodes is the American Dream, was the greatest. I saw Ric Flair at a small wrestling match once in the first row, and a guy in the front row pulled out a pocket knife and got into an argument with Ric Flair, and it was real because I knew the guy a little bit from around town, so it was real. The guy really pulled out a knife. But I saw Ric Flair yesterday bawling over Hulk Hogan. It was really sad. It broke my heart.
Well, I saw Andre the Giant in person at the Hilton that's been knocked down for the airport.
Oh, yeah.
Andre the Giant was there. I walked in, and I never seen anything like it. The guy was sitting in a chair, and I'm 6'2". You've seen my size.
Yeah.
Well, I walked up to this guy, and they said, hey, you got to step away. He had a security with him. This guy was sitting down. He was towering over me. He was 7'4". He weighed about 350 pounds.
He was the giant. Well, Hulk Hogan. I mean, when Hulk Hogan, he was 71, and it's such a strange thing as you get older. 71 is too young to go. 71 is not what it used to be. You know what I mean? No, I was like, oh my goodness, how many years do I have left? That's how it gets.
Yeah, you start saying that. But, I mean, I go back to your shows, and it was an incredible time in the 80s. For Steve Kane shows
I ran into Hulk Hogan's daughter, Brooke, at the Boca Town Center Mall. And she is a Amazon woman. I couldn't believe, I couldn't believe how big she was. Anyway, Richie, rest in peace, Hulk Hogan. Take care. If you're on hold, stand by. My Pillow. I got to talk about My Pillow. It's such a funny thing because my wife and I, I have not seen my wife and I, what happens towards when it's bedtime. I don't want the news on. I don't want the news on because I get upset. So I put regular stuff on, and my wife and I, we binge watch different things. And with the 3-inch My Pillow mattress topper, I haven't seen the end of any show. We're binge watching a Canadian sitcom called Corner Gas, and we've already seen every episode like 3 or 4 times. It's very funny. Corner Gas, and each episode is 22 minutes long. I haven't seen the end of any of these episodes because we put it on, I lay down in bed, I got my 3-inch My Pillow mattress topper, and I'm out like a light. So I gotta I rewatch the episodes like the next day or over the weekend. I haven't seen the end of these things. I am out. You know, and I know a lot of people have trouble sleeping. Get yourself a 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper. They come in every mattress size there is. There's huge discounts with our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane at mypillow.com. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code Kane, Kane. We'll be right back. Oh, yeah. It's pretty awesome. Let me play this again while we're... Oh. That is a public flogging like I've never seen. Never. If you're on hold, hang in there. It is open phones today. If you want to call in, the number is pinned in the live chat. On Friday's show, you can call in about anything and everything on your mind. You're not limited to the topics that we bring up on Friday's show only. It's what an idiot. Do you think Jerome Powell knows he was humiliated now? Or is he so arrogant he doesn't realize it? That's the question, right? Does he know he's been humiliated now? This is a radio station break. We'll be back shortly. In a little more than a minute. Yeah, if any of you guys ever watch Corner Gas, I love that shit. You got to watch from the first episode. It's hilarious. It's the best thing to come out of Canada since William Shatner. Yep, if you're on hold, stand by. I'll go back to the phones. Less than a minute, we'll be back. Phone's very busy today. We're back, and what a great day. 35 minutes after the hour. It is Friday already. I can't believe it. We're talking about this tar and feathering that President Trump did of Jerome Powell yesterday. It never gets old. I love it. I love it. If you're on hold, stand by. Now, Friday is open phones. We call it Open MAGA Mike Friday. You can call in about any and everything on your mind on Friday's show. You're not limited to the topics that we bring up. But you got to have some comments on this. I mean, this is beautiful stuff. Our number, 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. This is Barbara in Baltimore. I'd just like to say, Jerome Powell, he looks so disheveled. You know, like an old man in a bad suit.
Yeah.
His shirt was wrinkled. He just looks so disheveled. It's standing next to Donald Trump, who is always pressed.
Oh, yeah.
And always just so dapper. But no, he doesn't realize it yet, but I think what's going to happen with him, the other governors I've noticed have started distancing themselves because they know this economy is already taking off, and that he is really just being a stick in the mud. I think that is becoming obvious to everyone because lower interest rates would help the cars, homes, everything would start moving even
Barbara,
faster.
exactly. If the interest rates go down, I bought a new car last year. I might trade it in on a new American car if the interest rates drop right to a good level. But what President Trump did was take this guy who's wrecking our economy with high interest rates, walked him through his own financial disaster that's about $1 billion over budget, and exposed how this guy knows nothing about money or the economy or basic economics live on television. And he's so arrogant, he didn't even know he was being humiliated. It was, that whole thing was planned by, now at the end, Jerome Powell, he screwed up by challenging Trump at the end and all that. That was the cherry on the top. But even if he didn't do that, the tour would have been humiliating in itself.
Well, and he's touring with a builder, a man who built.
Exactly.
A builder he's on tour with. And you can see the arrogance in him. But from what I understand, the senators were the ones that you don't see on camera were the ones that really tearing him up with some questions about stuff.
Oh, like Senator Scott was awesome.
Like white on light.
Yeah, Senator Scott was great. And, I've never seen anything like this in my life, ever.
Well, I tell you, we don't see it, but we hear it on some of the numbskulls that call you, and insulting you. That's what they would look like in real life if they ever had an opportunity to be humiliated, because they don't even know how stupid they are, how stupid they sound to those of us who are really, somewhat educated, not necessarily with book educated, but educated in the school of street knowledge and how to live and what's going on. And every time I hear them challenge you, especially the white liberals, I mean, even Malcolm X warned us that the white liberal was the most dangerous person, the most dangerous type of people to the black community, and now to the Latino community as well. So,
I'll tell you, after this moment yesterday, after this tar and feathering by the president of Jerome Powell, Eric Trump, he said he would take over the project and he'd get it done under budget or within budget. I think he should. I think the president should put Eric and Don Jr. in charge of this and get it done.
He is going to get it done. He's not going to let him continue. They're still building.
I know. It looks like they just started. It looks like they just started.
It looks like they just. But guess what, Brian? I went to visit a friend at a senior citizen center here in Baltimore area.
Yeah.
This is they get government contracts. They have been working on this thing for at least 6 months.
It's a scam.
And all they're doing is painting. It's a scam. They go home early. They don't work. And the contract keeps paying and gets bigger and bigger, and they keep getting paid money. It's a scam. We need Doge to come here to Maryland, but that's a subject for another day. Thanks
all right,
so
take
much
care.
For taking
all right,
my
appreciate
call,
the call. Great call. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yes, good morning. This is Red Hood. I've been just came up from your live. I wanted to talk to you.
All right, welcome to the program.
Yes, I've been following you for a minute, and that was me commenting on your lives, just saying how it is, and we had a conversation considering about how it's really kind of unfair right about now, where the people is just so uninformed and just doing the most.
Yeah.
And they're not, huh? Sorry?
Yeah, no, I'm agreeing with you. Yeah.
I mean, there's so much accomplishments that Trump has did on his first 100 days, and everybody from the left just completely crashed out. And the former MAGAs, I don't even know why they would even go that far to show that magnitude of betrayal.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah, I know.
It hurts me.
I know it is. It does. Where are you calling from? Where are you located?
St. Louis, Missouri.
Oh, okay, St. Louis, Missouri. Okay. Yeah, liberal. You're in a very liberal land in St. Louis, Missouri.
Unfortunately.
Have you ever gone up in that elevator through that arch? Have you ever gone up there?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, I don't think I'd do that. I've seen some behind the scenes, that rickety old elevator from the 1920s or whatever they got in there. Forget about it. I don't know if that's for me.
I didn't know it was for me neither, but Jesus was right by my side.
That's right. That's right.
Jesus did a lot of people when we managed to get up there.
That's true. I mean,
You know what?
look at how Jesus stepped in Butler and saved President Trump's life.
Man, that one right there. And they hated him so much. You know what? BlackRock is responsible for that.
Mm-hmm.
Larry, he's responsible for that.
Mm-hmm.
How else could that boy get a $25,000 marksman rifle?
Really? I did not. Really? I got to look into that. It was a $25,000 marksman's rifle. I did not know that. I'll look into that. Hey, Red Hood, I appreciate the call from St. Louis. Take care, man. We'll talk again. Great call. I like that guy. Very smart man. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, it's Mike from Wilkerson.
Yes?
Can you hear me? How's it going today, Brian?
It's going.
It's going? It's a slow news day, right? Because we're talking about Powell instead
No,
of,
it's not slow. It's
stuff,
an exciting news day.
Yeah, it's kind of slow if you're talking about Powell being.
Well, I tell you what, you can get your own show. You can get your own show. Get your own show and talk about what you think is important or interesting.
What's wrong with you, Brian? Why are you a coward? Why are you such a coward on your own show? You hang up on old ladies. You hang up on people who are just asking you questions.
Mm-hmm. I mean, why don't you just tell me that it's Jerome calling back? Why are you trying to be somebody else from somewhere else? Oh, I guess he doesn't have an answer for that one. All right. I'll take one more. I probably shouldn't, but I will. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
You talking to me, mister?
I am, for now.
Howdy. My name's Ben. I'm from Nebraska.
Okay.
I've been waiting to get online. Nice to talk to you, Brian.
Uh-huh. What's on your mind?
I got a question.
Oh, here we go.
Do you truly think that Trump has America's best interest in mind?
Of course.
Of course. That's awesome. How do you respond to
He's going to walk me down the garden path. Yeah.
Yeah. You respond to the idea that Trump's big, beautiful bill is going to cut off Medicaid for many Americans, resulting in the projected death of about 50,000 Americans a year.
Oh, I want. What's the capital of Nebraska?
It's Lincoln.
You sure about that?
Yes, I'm sure the capital of Nebraska is Lincoln.
Yeah. What's the flag look like of Nebraska?
The flag, the blue flag, it's got a golden circle in it.
I am amazed that somebody can be calling me from Nebraska, the home of the great late Johnny Carson, and be so stupid as you are. I've known people from Nebraska, and they're very smart people. You are just a robotic parrot who's just repeating some vacuous talking point. You don't even know what you're saying. Hello, did the mic go out? Or just your brain? All right, that's what I thought. All right, we'll take our last break of the first hour and be back. All right, we'll be back in about 30 seconds or so. Welcome, everyone. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. This is where MAGA comes to talk. All right, we're back. Callers on hold, stand by. We're talking about the tar and feathering of Jerome Powell. I'll play that audio a few times today. It's so much fun. If you're on hold, hang in there. It is open phones on Friday. We call it Open MAGA Mic Friday. Any and everything on your mind is fair game on Friday's show. Our number toll-free, no matter where you're tuned into us from, is 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Mike from Louisiana.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah, this guy, as he was taking steps, Jerome Powell was looking like he was aging as he was taking steps. You know, that's how bad this thing looked for him. And look, he's talking about Trump did the same thing to him that he did to Caitlin Collins when he pulled the timeline out of his pocket. You know?
He did do that. If you ever go to a comedy show, you don't want to heckle the comedian unless it's Michael Richards on stage. He's not good at it. But the comedian always wins. You can't go up against Trump. Trump, he knew what he was doing every step of the way. Every step of the way. I would have given anything to be in The Beast with the president after this, when the high fives were happening. I could only imagine. It was like, he must have been saying, I was humiliating this guy, and then he pulled this stunt at the end that made it even worse for himself. It was beautiful. Beautiful.
And when Trump is talking about cost overruns and building that building, right? He should know about cost overruns. Remember the whole story about that skating rink in New York City that languished for several years because of cost overruns.
That's right. That's right. Well, Mike, it's good to hear from you. What an exciting thing to celebrate on Friday. We're having a good time here. Oh, man. All right. I'm starting to lose track of what order you guys called in on, so I'm doing my best. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I guess it's me.
Yes.
It's Maddie from Sunrise.
Hey, Maddie.
Yeah, hi. I'm just watching the president and Jerome Powell, and I'll tell you, I'm 84 years old. I could beat him up. I'd like to beat him up.
Nah, you wouldn't want to beat anybody up. It's better to fillet them with words like President Trump did. What President Trump did was the most humiliating thing I've ever seen a president of the United States do to an adversary. I mean, have you ever seen a president do something like that, humiliate someone to that degree? Never.
Never. But the only thing is, this man is very arrogant, and do you think he's going to lower the rate? I don't know. I don't trust him because he lowered the rate for Biden.
No, he's not. No, because if he does it now, it'll look like he's doing it for Trump.
Yeah, you're right. I'm glad Trump did that. I mean, the difference in the look of them, I'm looking at them now, and Trump is so big, so handsome, so great, with a lot of confidence. And this guy's a real putz.
Yeah, he is. And after Jerome Powell pulled this stunt, I saw those expressions on his face when the president was talking. I knew it was going to get good. But the president's trying not to crack up. He's trying not to lose it. He's trying to keep a straight face. I mean, this is, and I was watching this on Right Side Broadcasting, and when the President Trump, after Jerome Powell pulled this stunt, he cut away the president because he knows about comedic timing. So he knew what had just happened. So boom, he ended it and then moved on to the next thing because they go back to they go back to the studio, and the guy on Right Side Broadcasting was like, he was speechless. He's like, what do I say here? I mean, I've never seen such a curmudgeon, he said. It was hilarious.
I know, it was great. Well, anyway, have a great day, Brian.
All right, take care, take care. The only thing that made me laugh this hard that I could think of was that Korean air crash thing out in California years ago when that newscast got Baba Booeyed. Remember that? Oh, my goodness. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
These nuts in your mouth.
Okay, that's nice. Isn't that nice? It's an oldie but a goodie, but still we got to use the dump button on that one. Oh, my goodness. If you're on hold, stand by while we're waiting for the delay to re-engage. It gives me a perfect opportunity to talk about Friendly Tire in Margate. You know, I was talking to Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire in Margate yesterday, and we were talking about tire repairs. I ran over a screw in my car, and I did not know there were more types of tire repairs than just plugging a tire. He does patches and all kinds of stuff. There's all kinds of repairs. I had no idea that so many things were available. You know, other tire shops don't do repairs. They'll tell you, we don't do repairs, we just sell tires. Yeah, but I just got a nail in my tire. No, we don't do repairs. Friendly Tire does repairs. He's got thousands of used tires in stock at great prices. But, you know, I asked him yesterday, because, you know, with the price of things, I ask him every once in a while, what's the price on tires? You know, you can get new tires out the door and on the road for as low as $75 a tire. That's a brand new tire. And that's on a tire that fits on some of the most popular cars on the road today. $75 out the door and on the road. I mean, that's amazing. Where else can you go and get new tires for as low as $75 a tire out the door and on the road? Brand new tires. And when I say out the door and on the road, what I mean by that is he doesn't charge you to balance the tire, mount the tire, or even dispose of your old tires. Give Friendly Mike a call at Friendly Tire in Margate. He'll give you a price right over the phone. And remember, that price he gives you is that out the door and on the road price. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. That's 954-977-9445. All right, back to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Conservative Doug.
Hey, Doug. What's up, man?
This Jerome Powell, it's just amazing to me that this guy is so incompetent to be working for anybody to allow $1,000 million to be over budget on a building. I mean, how can you spend that much more money, man?
It's basically $1 billion, and they're not done. So, you know, it's going to go over $1 billion.
$1,000 million, and he says, "Oh, we have a reserve."
And why do they even need these new buildings? It was going bad enough when President Trump said they built a basement, which they don't need, and it's over water, so they had to put in this tub. It's very, very expensive. You know, it's just there's so many empty buildings in D.C. already. Somebody's making money off this. I don't know. That shouldn't be.
Oh man, I built houses, but I would be embarrassed to say, you have to give me another $1 billion to finish the building, man. I don't know how these people could do this. They're un-American what they're doing, robbing us.
Well, you know, that's what that's what happens when you've got someone that comes from private business. Right? Yeah, you know, you don't have if you have cost overruns in private business, you go bankrupt.
Yeah, this guy just writing the checks. He doesn't care. It's not his money, and he keeps raising the rates.
Well, who knows if it's his money or not? I mean, you think he's letting it go $1 billion overrun for nothing? I mean, somebody's making money.
Yeah,
there's some kind of corruption going on there, right? It's got to be.
I would say you're probably right there, man. Everybody is just amazing with those what we found out all the waste, and now these people running out. No wonder the country's in trouble.
And you know, and I love how President Trump, when he goes over it, Powell's making all these faces and everything, and I'm like, what is he doing? This is come on. And then he challenged him. Oh
man, he knows he's exposed. He knows he's doing a lousy job. And President Trump has to get all these guys out and get all new guys in to fix this country. And it's on the way.
And
but it's gonna take
we've
a while.
seen all this in President Trump's second term. These cabinet secretaries have been showing how all the office buildings of the government in D.C. are empty because everyone's been working remotely. So what do they need all this new space for? Why don't they just take over some of these already existing federal buildings that are empty?
Because they, like you said, they got the money, and people want it, and they want to get their little piece of the pie.
Yeah,
they're just throwing money away like it's only tax dollars.
Yeah, that's it. It's
money,
only
man.
tax dollars. All right, Doug, thanks for the call. If you're on hold, hang in there. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. My name is Brian Craig. We're going to take our break for the top. If you're on hold, hang in there. It is Open MAGA Mike Friday. It's open phones on Friday. And on Open MAGA Mike Friday, you can call in about any and everything on your mind. You don't have to comment on anything I bring up, or Steve when he joins us later. Our number is toll-free, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. We'll be right back after this. Right. Okay, I'm just queuing some stuff up to play when we get back.
Well, here, yeah, so...
Okay. Well, I'll play this Stephen Miller clip when we get back. Oh, yeah, this is good. This is just a great day, isn't it? Ugh. The public humiliation of Jerome Powell. We'll be back in 1 minute, guys. 1 minute. Yeah, Tar and Feather's the best descriptor. No question about it. If you're on hold, hang in there. We got about 30 seconds and we'll be back. Oh, man. How exciting. Welcome back, one and all. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. Hour number 2 has begun. Call us on hold. You stand by. We've been talking in the first hour about the tar and feathering that our favorite president, Donald Trump, gave to Jerome Powell. And I've got some more things to cover. But first, I want to talk about Coastal Weight Loss Secret. You know, I'm wearing an Alligator Alcatraz t-shirt right now. And this is one of the new t-shirts that my wife bought me. My wife buys all my clothes, guys. Don't your guys' wives do? I don't know what sizes I wear or anything. I don't know what size shoes I wear, underwear I wear, nothing. My wife buys it all. But this Alligator Alcatraz shirt I'm wearing is one of the new shirts that my wife has gotten for me since I've had all this weight loss. And I am just so much smaller than I used to be. I'm wearing shirts that are much smaller. And because I lost, remember, with no exercise, eating foods I would normally eat, no prescription medications like Ozempic, I lost my belly. I've got a flat stomach now. And because, you know, I had a little bit of a belly before, I had to get t-shirts that were really kind of too big everywhere else but the belly. And it's nice just looking down and having a flat stomach and a t-shirt that fits right. It's a form-fitting t-shirt, this Alligator Alcatraz shirt I'm wearing. Thank you to Coastal Weight Loss Secret. You could do the same thing, okay? Lose weight. No matter if you want to lose less, maybe you want to lose 20 pounds, 100 pounds, 400 pounds, 200 pounds, whatever it is, give Coastal Weight Loss Secret a call. I'm going to give you the number. When you call, make sure you tell them you heard about them on the True Oldies channel. And remember, no matter where you're located in the United States, Coastal Weight Loss Secret can help you, okay? Here's their number, 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300. And online, coastalweightlossecret.com. All right, before we go back to the phones, I want to play this. This is the great Stephen Miller on Fox last night talking about, the missing children that were trafficked during the auto pen administration of Joe Biden.
Well, so here's another one for you, Sean. On top of all of that, we now believe the true number of missing children that Joe Biden trafficked into the country, the Democrats trafficked into the country, is 450,000. Not 420, 450.
Almost half a million.
Democrats have committed crimes for which they can never be forgiven, Sean.
Wow. Almost 500,000 children trafficked during the Biden regime across our border. That's a national embarrassment, but President Trump's correcting it. All right. To the phones we go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, it's Mark Randolph. How you doing today, Brian?
All right, Mark.
Hey, I got a quick question. Is how masculine Trump makes you feel, does it call into question your own masculinity? Because you talk about him kind of homoerotically, like how masculine he is, how smart he is. Men want to be him. Women want to be with him. I mean, it's kind of homoerotic. I mean, he talks to you like you're stupid, but you still, like, capitulate everything he says. He doesn't lie, and he's so smart. Yet, I mean, just this week he had a news conference where he said that he doesn't want to lower drug prices by 60 or 70. He wants to lower them by 1,000. Does he not know how basic math works? You can't do that. So that the drug companies are going to pay us to take the drugs? Is that how that works? Did anyone tell him how basic arithmetic works? You can lower prices by 100%, but you can't go below that. You can raise prices thousands of percent, absolutely going up, but going down, it doesn't work that way. So when he talks to you like you're stupid, you just accept it?
Well, I'll explain about the drug prices. And you obviously have not read The Art of the Deal, okay, which I've read more than once. And if you were to read The Art of the Deal, and then you would follow Trump and everything he does, and every deal he makes, he always asks for many times what he really wants, right? So the reason he does that is what? Why do you think that? He always asks for a lot more than he wants. Why do you think he does that?
I know you're going to say, so when he gets them to lower it by 70, he still wins.
Correct. That's why. And so far as the prescription drugs, since you're upset, you have issues with stupid people, so you're obviously highly intelligent and informed. You're well aware that in the United States, we pay more for prescription medications than the rest of the planet because we're paying for all of their prescriptions too, right? So what President Trump wants to do, so what President Trump wants to do, except for the third world countries, like first world countries, Europe, Canada, Japan, and Australia, he wants to require pharmaceutical companies to charge them the same price they charge us for prescription medications. As a smart, informed, non-stupid man, you're aware of this. Hey, listen, I appreciate the call. Think about all of that, all right? Since you're so smart and not stupid. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Shelly Babes, North Carolina.
Hey, Shelly.
Hey, I just watched that. It was hilarious.
Oh, Jerome Powell and the president? Trump. Oh, yeah. Isn't he great?
Oh, I am not a morning person, and you won't see me smiling a lot.
I can tell you're not a morning person. That's okay.
Yeah. I love Trump. He made me smile and laugh. I mean, he just told them, I would fire them all. Mm. He said he would never start this project to... Oh my gosh.
Are you okay? Are you just having a good time, or you still got some booze in you from last night? You sound, I don't know if you're just drunk on happiness of Trump's humiliation and tarring and feathering of Jerome Powell, or if you still have some alcohol in your system. I can't tell which is it.
No. No, I'm sober.
Okay.
I get happy when Trump when he totally annihilates these elite communist war pigs. Mm. When he just annihilates them and humiliates them, it gives me pure joy. Mm-hmm. They deserve it, and he needs to do it more. And, Brian, I really love and appreciate your show, and I can't believe you tolerate these dingleberries that call you up, but I love the way you handle them.
Well, thank you.
You surely put them in their place.
Mm-hmm. Well, take care. All right, take care and get some sleep. Don't sleep till after 9 o'clock. Don't do anything till after 9 a.m. That's when the show goes off the air, okay? All right, it's just an hour and 49 minutes left. An hour and 49 minutes, then you guys can get on with your life. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, it was, this is Dave from Detroit, and it was nice of Speaker Johnson to shut down the House because he didn't like the narrative of the scandal. And so they're shut down for a whole month. Are you proud of that, aren't you?
You want the government shut down as much as possible, because when the government's open, they're messing with our lives. They're passing laws, rules, and regulations limiting our freedom. Why do you want the government open all the time, passing laws?
Oh, so Trump is part of the government, so he is screwing our lives.
No, he's not part of the legislative branch. The legislative branch, when they're in session, all they do is pass laws.
You said government.
Well, I'll be more specific. I'm talking about the legislative branches of government. Like in Texas, I think their legislature only gets together like every couple of years. They don't even have a yearly session, I don't think.
So the Republican Mike Johnson-led legislation is screwing America.
No. But the government, but when you're any legislative, listen, you're not going to do what I do. I know you're trying to walk me down some garden path. If you had half a brain cell, you'd live in a nice city, not Detroit. Okay? But no, when the legislative branches are in session, all they do is legislate. So you don't want them legislating all the time. Every time there's a law passed, you're losing some liberty. All right, appreciate the call, Detroit. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. Once, twice. All right, you missed your chance. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Z from Virginia.
Hey, Virginia.
No, I have just two things to say. Republicans need to keep in mind that everything Democrats are accusing us of, they have done it or are doing it themselves.
That's true.
It's a deflection, and it's constantly a deflection.
Mm-hmm.
If Peter feels about President Trump, who to tell that Obama is not the Peter Phil that they're trying to protect?
Mm-hmm.
Then you go Powell trying to dictate to us about interest rate and all this, and he can't even manage the project.
That's true.
I don't even care what they say. They are always deflecting, and Republicans need to understand that. Don't get overworked about stuff. They are the ones doing it. That's all you need to know.
That's true. That's true. All right. Appreciate the call. All right. If you're on hold, hang in there. It is Open MAGA Mike Friday. Open phones on Friday. You can call in about any and everything on your mind, although some of our liberal callers seem to be lacking a mind, but some of them have tried. Our number is toll-free, 888-465-2631. We'll be right back. We'll be back shortly, guys. Oh, man, it does not get better than this. It really doesn't. This is just one of the greatest times ever. Ever. Now, I want to tell you guys, if you want to join us on our next MAGA cruise, call Ian at Cruise and Travel Depot. We're going to Antigua, Nassau in the Bahamas, and the Virgin Islands. You're all invited. We've got people coming from all over America. It's our 10th annual MAGA cruise. Give Ian a call, 561-244-5779. 561-244-5779. We've got incredible deals on our cabins. If you go with us, you will be paying less than anyone else on the ship. But those cabins are going to be running out. We grabbed a whole bunch of them, and they're selling out. And once they're gone, theirs are gone. So give Ian a call. Join us. We have dinner together every night, all kinds of great on-board activities, some of the best shore excursions we've ever had, and we're working on some still I can't wait to tell you about. 561-244-5779. And in the video, you can see what a great time we always have on our cruises. So join us. The number's right there to call Ian. All right, we're back. My name's Brian. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show. Calls on hold, stand by. There was a story I talked about yesterday about Uber. Uber is doing this thing where women can request female drivers for their safety, right? Because so much stuff goes on, right? With, we know. I mean, it's just terrible what life must be like for a woman, right? It's just, it's not good and so dangerous. And on the face of it, that's, oh, great. They can request female drivers now. I was looking up because, all this wokeism, there's still some of it out there. And I just Googled, what does Uber consider a woman? That's it. Just a simple thing. What does Uber consider a woman? Okay. And this is what came up. Women rider preference. It's a feature that allows female and non-binary drivers and riders to indicate a preference for matching with other women. This feature is designed to enhance safety and provide more control and comfort to female and non-binary individuals within the Uber platform. For riders, female and non-binary riders can set a preference in the Uber app to be matched with female drivers. This preference can be toggled on or off and doesn't guarantee a match with a female driver, but it does increase the likelihood. For drivers, female and non-binary drivers can also choose to only accept ride requests from women. This is what I don't understand, because they're talking a lot about non-binary. What does anyone know what? I don't know the answer to this. So if you know, call me. I want to hear this. What is Uber's definition of a woman? Does anyone know? Do you have to be born a woman to be a woman according to Uber? Or can like Leah Thomas be considered a woman by Uber standards? Is Caitlyn Jenner a woman by Uber standards? Or do you have to be born a woman? Does anyone know the answer to that? And it's an important question, and the answer is very important too. And I don't know. It popped in my brain. I was thinking about it. Because that doesn't really make women safer if they don't answer that question in a proper way. All right, it is Open MAGA Mike Friday, but if anybody knows the answer to that, call and let me know. 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air.
My name is Jordan. I'm from Las Vegas.
Jordan, turn the volume down in the background, man. You got to turn the volume. Yeah, turn the volume down on whatever device you're listening to me on in the back. There's a delay, so turn it down. Mute it. Mute it. You got to mute it.
Hi, my name is Jordan from Nevada. To be honest, I feel like that makes it a little bit more dangerous for women when they're trying to drive, or not drive, for having their driver as their preference, because that just makes it more difficult. And wouldn't it also just make it people want to, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, you know what I mean?
No. I don't know what you mean. Sorry. Try to articulate your point again.
Sorry. What I'm trying to say is, like, I feel like it would make it still unsafer even by doing that, because even if people say that they're non-binary, which that doesn't make any sense. I don't believe in that. But, like, I feel like it just doesn't make any sense. I feel like if they're going to go by those rules, they should go by like the state IDs.
This is what I think. Okay, I got. This is what my rules are. Women should not be taking ride sharing alone, period, without a chaperone. Women should not take an Uber, a Lyft, or a taxi cab, or even walk the streets or jog in the neighborhood without a male chaperone. That's first and foremost. Second, women should not be Uber or Lyft drivers or taxi drivers. That's a man's job. It's just not safe.
I can agree to that. Yeah. I see your point of view.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it. And my daughter's taken, these things without me, and I hate it. I don't like it.
Yeah, I just don't think what they're suggesting is going to help. I feel like it's making it a little bit more difficult because now they're just making it more problematic.
Well, here's the thing. It's an example of liberalism putting people in danger, right? In the old days, before all these feminazis took over everything, remember Rush, the feminazis? Before the feminists took over, women didn't go around and about without a male escort or chaperone. Now they're all by themselves and vulnerable. That's why there's so many women like this poor girl who was walking home drunk the other night who got killed, right? They get killed because they're out there alone. They shouldn't be alone. And all these other liberal ideas put women in danger by putting them in people's private cars that they shouldn't be in alone. No, liberalism makes life unsafe for women, and a lot of women are dead because of liberalism. And I just want to know what Uber considers a woman to be before they start telling women you can choose a woman driver and you'll be safe. You know what I mean? I don't know if they consider a woman to be somebody born a woman or not, because they're talking about non-binary drivers and stuff. So that sounds pretty woke.
Yeah, it's just too much. I feel like what they're doing is they're going on the right path, but not the right way of doing it. You feel?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, appreciate the call, man. Take care from Vegas. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Chris from Chicago.
Hey, Chris, what's up?
What's going on? If this administration is all about transparency, why is Congress continuously blocking the release of the Epstein files?
Congress, no, the Epstein files are not being blocked by Congress or President Trump.
They took out several
hold
votes.
on, excuse me. I'm answering your question. I'm answering your question, okay? The majority of the files, including this list that everyone keeps talking about, is sealed in the federal courts. President Trump ordered Pam Bondi to release everything. However, many of these records, including the list, is sealed by the court. Pam Bondi went to the courts the other day, and an Obama-appointed judge refused to unseal the list and the names. So this Obama judge is the one who's refusing to release this stuff.
That's not true.
No, it is true. It was in the news yesterday.
No, the only thing that judge was responsible for was testimony. That was it.
No, that's where the names are. That's where the names are.
That's not true, Craig.
It is true.
I'm telling you, it's not true.
It is true.
No, it's okay. Right now.
But you know, here's the thing. Here's the thing. No, I'm not done. I am not done. I'm not done. Shame on you. Shame on you. You know darn well that if that judge had been appointed by President Trump or Bush or any Republican, you'd be all over them. But you know they got appointed by Obama, so you don't blame, oh no, the judge didn't do anything. You call in and care, you pretend to care about the abuse of women, and all you are is some partisan hack from Chicago, the most dangerous city in America.
Can I talk, please?
Respond to what I said. Respond to what I said.
Okay, Mike Johnson went on Face the Nation. He explained why the judge could not release the files. That's all I want to say.
So now all of a sudden you agree with. So now all of a sudden you agree with Mike Johnson.
Well, Mike Johnson.
All right, appreciate the call. Don't pretend to care about victims. But if it's an Obama judge, because Obama appointed the judge, the judge can't do anything. Jerk. Really, I'm serious. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air.
It's Jerome. How's it going? You going to hang up again?
Well, you got on twice, Jerome, and I have like two rules.
Coward, Brian. You just hung up on the guy.
Two rules, and one of them is one call per day. Well, then
I don't care. Don't hang up on people.
I'll do whatever I want. Who are you? Get your own show.
If you can have an actual discussion, that'd be great.
It's not up. It's not up for you. Excuse me. It is not up to you to determine what we do on this program. All right. Oh, my goodness. It's time. The show's flying by. We're halfway through. We'll be right back.
You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. It's Frank from West Palm. How you doing here?
All right,
Brian,
Frank.
you were absolutely correct. LaPorta Roofing was amazingly phenomenal. They just completed my roof last week, and LaPorta Roofing was superb in all ways imaginable when installing the new roof on my residence. Tom LaPorta meticulously spearheaded the entire project from inception through to the finalization of the assignment. Tom handled all the paperwork involving city permits, inspectors, and my community HOA. He was always available, ensuring me that he had my back in all phases of the project. Additionally, Tom, Scott, and Dan, and the entire crew were very well organized with the plan, consistent with all policies and procedures, and craftsmanship was exemplary in all stages of the design execution. Tom, Scott, and Dan maintained continual contact with me, the homeowner, asking if there were any questions I had or anything further I needed. LaPorta Roofing is, in every respect, a stellar, 5-star, AAA, family-owned company that is a reliable, peace-of-mind roofing organization. These guys are spot on with regards to perfection, and they demand it. I remain mesmerized upon the completion of the job. My roof is a masterpiece. And one last thing before I forget, they were the least expensive quote that I received out of 4 quotes for roofing. I thank Tom LaPorta Roofing for all that they do.
Wow, Frank. Well, thanks so much. Tom LaPorta at LaPorta Roofing. He covers both the east and west coast of Florida and everywhere in between. He works with every type of structure, residential, commercial, municipal, and he works with every type of roofing material. Also, don't forget, Tom LaPorta will never sell you a roof you do not need. If you need just a simple repair, he'll do it. He can also handle the job of any size, whether it's a single-family home or an HOA with over 200 units. Give him a call. This number rings directly to Tom LaPorta's cell phone, 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. And online, LaPortaRoofing.com. Frank, thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Brian. You have a wonderful day.
All right, we'll be back in seconds. All right, we're back. A little late on that. My apologies, guys. I was answering my text messages. If you're on hold, stand by. I was talking at the top of the show. I want to get back to it before we go back to the phones. It is Open Mega Mike Friday, open phones. Any and everything on your mind is fair game. And if anyone knows what Uber defines a woman as, let me know. I'm curious, okay? And I think women need to know. It's really a public service. But what I opened with at 6, I want to recap because this was just so beautiful. The President Trump, the 45th and 47th President of the United States, he's been talking about the incompetence of Jerome Powell over the interest rates for quite some time. And he did something so smart yesterday. He took a tour. I wondered why he was going to the Fed. I didn't realize this construction project was going on there. But President Trump went over to the construction site at the Fed to walk Jerome Powell through with the White House press corps to show that this guy who will not lower interest rates, Jerome Powell, is a financial wreck. He doesn't know anything about the economy. Look at this project that's almost $1 billion over budget. And just walking through the construction site was humiliation enough. And then they get to the end of this construction hallway with the white hard hats on. President Trump starts talking about the cost overruns. And Jerome Powell, who's so arrogant and so consumed with Trump derangement syndrome, that he started to challenge the president, and the president had the receipts and humiliated him. And when I saw this, I watched this live when it happened. And I know a lot of you do too. If President Trump's on, I'll stop what I'm doing. And when this happened and I saw it live, it was so shocking to me, I couldn't believe I saw what I just saw. I had to rewind it to watch it again. I watched it like 3 more times before it sunk in. This really happened. Okay, so oh my goodness. I mean, what? And President Trump, at this point, President Trump's like, I've just tarred and feathered this guy all day walking through this disaster, $1 billion almost over budget. And then at the end, he does this. I mean, he gave Obama, this Obama-loving, Biden-loving Jerome Powell, Trump derangement-suffering idiot. He didn't realize he was being tarred and feathered, humiliated beyond imagination, and he gave President Trump this gift at the end. So then after all of this, CNN's Caitlin Collins, who's another idiot, she's questioning the senators, and they go over what happened. This is great. Listen. Now, these are the White House officials, and they're talking about what happened with the renovations. Listen, Caitlin Collins.
Who is responsible for giving the president accurate information about what the cost is? Because SFjr.
See, now Caitlin Collins, she's immediately. You notice anytime there's a live reporter in Washington, I'm always hearing police sirens in the background. President Trump's been talking about taking over the city fully because the crime's so high. You notice that? There's always sirens going on in the background. But here's Caitlin Collins trying to help Jerome Powell after this humiliation.
Who is responsible for giving the president accurate information about what the cost is? Because SFjr. Powell was correcting him on live.
No, he wasn't. What the president pulled out of his pocket. No, the president pulled out of his pocket a page from the FOIA request of the Fed's own internal documents that is available on their website.
So
it's available for
their. You're saying he's wrong?
No, what the president is saying is the entire construction project that's going on, which is a build and renovation project over the last number of years, is currently at $3.1.
By the way, this is the deputy chief of staff to President Trump who's speaking.
$1 billion. And what the Fed chair was saying was, no, you have to take one of the buildings out of it. Well, no, it's all one project on the whole complex.
Why do you disagree with that? If the building was already done and it's not part of what your issues are right now?
I don't know what you're saying. If you go back and look,
she doesn't
the president's looked at the forms, they're right there. You can see every single year. They put out the FOIAs for every single year, and every single year the numbers have gone up for this project.
What number of years? So you're saying that the number Jay Powell gave was wrong and the one the president had is accurate in your assessment?
I think what the Fed chair is doing is splitting hairs in that moment to try to drive down the top line costs for what we're talking about.
Sir, the president and yes, we believe our numbers are accurate.
So go ahead. They're their numbers. Again, the president was citing their numbers from their forms that they have published.
That was the document you FOIA, just to be clear.
We did not FOIA it. It's available right now on the Fed's website.
Okay.
Oh my goodness, Caitlin Collins. Oh my goodness, CNN. It was just a great day. Yeah, every day is a great day with Trump back in the White House, but yesterday, that was a glorious day, man. I tell you, and it never gets old. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Yes, you're on the air.
Good morning. How you doing? This is Maria from Florida.
Hey, Maria. How are you? I'm doing great.
All right. I was on the line for a long time. But
I'm
that's
sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No, you're a busy man today. Today is Friday.
That's right. Open MAGA Mike Friday.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. I just cracked up yesterday. I cracked up so hard yesterday.
Oh yeah.
Until I had to go because I was with my grandkids and I was trying not to laugh because I was listening to it in my car. And when I was listening to it, I just said, "Oh no, Trump, don't do it, don't do it."
Oh yeah, it was great.
Yeah, it was. It was so funny, and I cracked up. I ain't gonna lie to you. I cracked up when I heard it. Every time I'm listening to it now on the TV. I've listened to your show, and I'm still cracking up over it because I can't believe that.
I am not exaggerating when I say this. I don't think at all. That is one of the most historic moments in the history of all presidents. I have never seen a president of the United States take someone down like that ever, because it was done. It was done in comedy, It was such a... President Trump knew he was going to walk around and show that this guy doesn't understand finances. He's $1 billion over budget. And this thing at the end, that wasn't supposed to happen, but Jerome Powell's so stupid, he started questioning Trump at the end there like an idiot.
Yeah, that's what I said, because I looked, and I said, wait a minute, you are questioning him? Oh, my God, that's the worst thing you could do, because he got the paperwork. He got the files. I don't know why y'all think he going to come empty-handed. He never empty-handed when he making a deal or he negotiating or he dealing with someone that don't know what they're talking about.
I hope the president puts that budget note in his presidential library. Right?
Yeah.
They should have. There should be a whole thing in Trump's presidential library just for this moment.
Yeah.
Just for this moment, where they just play this on loop and they have the document right there under the glass to look at.
But I was calling because I heard the guy was speaking to you, and I can honestly say if I was in your shoe, which I was not, I think I would have called the guy a jerk. Get off my radio. You're a jerk, because I'm telling you that the judge blocked the release of any kind of files. The president and the DOJ do not have those files.
The names are in the court files that are sealed. And and there's a lot of confusion on who the perpetrators and who the victims are. And a lot of these cases haven't gone through the process, so they're sealed under court order, the names, by an Obama judge. And, that guy, and for that guy to call in all high and holy, they won't release it. If that judge was a Trump judge or a Bush judge or any Republican judge, they'd be all over the judge. But appointed by Obama, the judge has no rule. What's President Trump and Mike Johnson are supposed to go against a federal judge's order now?
Exactly. It's all ludicrous, and it's all a bunch of jokes. People, these liberals, they are jokes. And yesterday, I was listening to the interview with Mike Johnson, and he was telling, I think it was CBS or whoever that was doing the interview with him, and he was asked by, I can't think of the senator name because I don't even know him, because I haven't seen him before, and when I do see him, it's like you're talking to a Democrat. So I don't really know his name, but I heard his voice, and he was saying that Mike Johnson won't allow them to get the files because he afraid that Donald Trump's name is going to be mentioned in the file.
No, that's
and Mike Johnson, and Mike Johnson shot back and said, "Wait a minute, where was this guy when Joe Biden was in office?"
Exactly.
He said somehow he interested in these files, but he wasn't interested 4 years ago, Yeah, tell me when he really being interested, because he doesn't vote with Republicans anyway. He always say no, and I picked it up right then. Oh, Tom Massey. Oh, really?
Yeah.
And that's what he was
Yeah, that's
saying.
right.
So,
all right, hey, listen, Maria, I got to run for a break, but you're spot on and right on the money. Have a great weekend. I want to talk about the great MyPillow 3-inch mattress topper. I was talking earlier in the first hour about this. When it's time to go to bed at night, my wife and I, we don't watch the news because the news stresses you out. So I like to put on something relaxing to calm the brain down. And we've been binge watching this very funny. I'm not in the sitcoms, but I like this one. It's called Corner Gas. It's a Canadian sitcom from like 20 plus years ago, but it's very, very good. Each episode is 22 minutes. So we put it on. I get in bed. We got the 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper. I never see the end of these episodes. Never. They're 22 minutes because we got them commercial free, right? We're watching them commercial free. I fall asleep so quickly with that 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper, I never see the end of any episode. It's kind of funny. It's like, I know a lot of people have a hard time sleeping. And they do all kinds of weird things and take things that really aren't that good to take. Get yourself a 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper. There's a huge discount when you use our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. You go to sleep just like that. I do. It's like boom. It's like it's amazing. And then next thing I know, it's time to get up in the morning, and I'm well rested, as you can hear. And it's a great thing. You can also order by phone. They come in every mattress size, 60-day money-back guarantee, and a 10-year warranty. 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. 4879. Promo code Kane, K-A-N-E. We'll be right back. All right, we'll be back in about a minute, guys. If you're new, make sure you subscribe, okay? Welcome back, everyone, on this Open Phone, Open Mega Mic Friday. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. My name is Brian Craig. Call us on hold, hang in there. You know, President Trump, who ended the largest child trafficking and sex trafficking and slave trafficking operation in history. I'm talking about the history of all humanity when he shut down the southern border. They're still on it. There's all these kids missing. This is a reporter at the Great Wall of Trump, the southern border wall, with a report yesterday. Listen to this.
We just got information from an HHS official that shows that 13,061 unaccompanied minors have actually been located under the Trump administration. And ICE, we're learning, is also arresting some of the sponsors. 442 sponsors have been arrested for involvement in suspected child abuse or other crimes are being discovered. Now, the abuse is being determined through a multifaceted investigation if they do determine that sponsor was abusing that child. Now, they're using local police, CPS, federal agencies. They're all involved, according to HHS. Now, former special agents with Homeland Security investigations have explained to us that oftentimes these kids are left behind as payment. The parent is often promised by the cartel members that they will eventually be reunited with their child in the U.S. That child, sadly, is often recycled to help single adults enter the country illegally. Now, we know that 320,000 unaccompanied minors were essentially unaccounted for under the Biden administration. The Trump administration, they campaigned on it. They've been talking about it regularly. It's a priority for them to go and find these kids, but still just a fraction, Nicole, 13,000 out of 320,000 so far.
Wow. That's amazing. And, this, what President Trump has done so far is ending sex trafficking and child trafficking and slave trafficking, too, at the southern border. And now ICE continues its mission while the liberals are trying to dox them and undermine them. This is, what an amazing story, although there's a lot of kids they're still searching for. And for them to speak about our president and ICE the way they do when they're doing such great work is disgusting. But that's how Democrats have always been, right? That's how they've always been. It's amazing they got that guy that was throwing the rocks at the ICE officers. He was in Mexico. The Mexican police arrested that guy. He was wearing a motorcycle helmet. I don't know how they identified him, but they did, and they got him, and he's in U.S. custody now, thanks to Mexico cooperating with the Trump administration and extraditing him like that. Did you see there was a story? Did you see the guy that self-deported by accident that was in the news yesterday? Oh, my God. This was unbelievable. There's a guy who's an illegal, and he's an Uber or Lyft driver, one or the other, and he drives people on the U.S. side of the northern border. He missed his exit on the highway and ended up in Mexico by accident. And he did a U-turn to come back in. They wouldn't let him in. He was stopped because he's an illegal. He was in the country illegally. And that's what happened to that Marine. Remember that Marine that missed his exit and then ended up in Mexico, went to jail? Trump intervened. He wasn't president yet. Oh, yeah. Self-deportation by accident. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian. This is Fred calling from Coral Springs. How you doing today?
All right, Fred. What's up?
Well, on this beatdown of Powell, one of the things that no one seems to be talking about is Powell mumbles after Trump says something to him about the finances, and Powell mumbles, well, I didn't hear that from anybody here at the Federal Reserve.
Yes.
And it kind of makes me think, who in the hell is upper management there not paying any attention to the spending?
Yeah.
I mean...
Well, a lot of times hilarious. when you guys hear me talk about Jupiter Joe Thomas, right? He's our financial guy, our financial advisor. Yep. You guys hear me all the time talk about you want to take financial advice from a successful guy who's out at Jupiter, who has this 5-time qualifying. Because you look at his life and how he runs things, he's very financially successful. You know how much office space cost in Jupiter? Holy smokes. And what Trump did yesterday, this guy, because of interest rates, he's got a lot of control over the U.S. economy, the number one economy in the world, the largest economy in the world. And he's such an incompetent nincompoop. Look at this construction project he's got going on. That's $1 billion over budget. It's not even close to being done. I mean, how can you put someone who's so fiscally incompetent in charge of such a big part of the economy, the interest rates?
I agree 100%. Now, look, before I go, I'm just going to make a comment here, and this is not, I hope you don't take this as a negative.
Here we go. That's okay.
I'm speaking, no. I've spent 25 years in the radio. I did a lot of sports and news talk, so I know what it's like to put up with, fanatics on the radio.
Yeah.
The point I'm going to make is at some point, I hope you consider dumping Renee and Jerome. Renee is just the constant hearing of, you're a racist, you're a pig, you're, whatever it is. And Jerome, all he does is laugh and repeat himself and never give anyone a chance.
I'll comment. Okay, I'm going to comment on both of those things. Sure. First of all, on this program, you can count on one hand how many people have been banned. To get banned from the program, now you would need more than one hand, but some of them have passed away. Okay, there was one guy, if anybody remembers the Pink Phantom and a few others, but you have to do a lot to get banned from this program. That's number one, because we really don't like to do it. I agree with you about Renee. I think Renee, so far as usefulness, you can't have a discussion. I mean, you're a racist, you're a racist, you're racist. He's just a lunatic. This guy, Jerome, that's called a couple times, he's borderline stalker at this point. If you hear the hysterics in his voice in the call. And, you're a broadcaster, Play Misty for me, to me, is like a reality TV show, right? That movie.
No, I know. I had them.
And one thing I hate to use this word celebrity, but I've been doing this my whole adult life. So I've been a public person that has this little tiny bit of celebrity. And what I've realized with people, like they don't think you're a human. They don't think you're a real person. And people, when it comes to whether it's me or Rush or people like that, they don't think you're a real person. They're very angry and they feel totally justified. I had a stalker a few years ago that is, by the way, I always press charges against people too. I've had incidents. I always press charges because, you got to do it. But I had a stalker who was threatening, and it got to a point where things were getting revealed and they were confronted and things were done, and they screamed at me. They told me I deserve it. You want to be public, you're on the radio, you're online, this is what you effing get, you mother. And that was a big wake-up call to me that they don't think you're a human person. They don't think you're a real person. They think you're somebody that deserves being abused and things. So I agree with you about Renee. Jerome's getting really creepy at this point.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not trying to.
No. I'm glad you bring it up.
I did my thing.
No, you're.
It's just that I listen every day. Maybe that's part of my problem.
No, that's a good thing.
3 hours a day.
That's a good thing.
Well, it is a good thing because you keep me company when I walk, it's an interesting show, and I don't mind, and actually I like the guys like, Steve and Tom who call up who are, never
Well, listen, here's the thing. When you do we don't have to do screenless. The reason we do screenless is when I was first on the air doing overnights, the radio station wouldn't pay me, but they would pay the board op. So I took over the board op job. I board op for myself so I could get paid. It was $5 an hour, guys, doing overnights on the air. $5 an hour. Minimum wage was $3.65 back then. And I took screenless.
Well, that was more than my first job.
Yeah, I took screenless calls then because I had to, right? And then when I moved up, it's part of the show, and there's many benefits because if you have a call screener and you have the names on the board or anything on the board, you know where they're coming from before you say. And I like the spontaneity of you don't know. So there's more positives than negatives, but the two that you're talking about today, that's the negative side effects of going screenless.
Yeah, I know. Renee's usually when I decide I need to go in the outhouse and not listen.
No, I'm gonna tell you that Renee is about to be on the ban list. And you're not the only. A lot of people have told me that, including Steve. Okay, and and there just comes a point where the calls are no longer productive.
Well, look, keep up the great work. Like I said, I listen 3 hours a day, 5 days a week, and less I'm in bed sick.
Well, I appreciate all of that. I appreciate your comment and listening. And this show, our listeners listen for 2 hours and 45 minutes, 3 hours a day, and I really appreciate that. It means a lot. I appreciate it. I got to run for the top of the hour, but I appreciate all of that.
Go.
All right, take care. Yeah, he's a radio guy. He knows it's break time. All right, if you're on hold, hang in there. We'll take our break for the top and be back with your calls after this. Hey guys, we'll be back soon. All right, we're back in just a short amount of time. All right, hold on. There's one thing I want to play that's unrelated to all this stuff. There it is. Okay. Stand by. If you're on hold, hang in there. All right, the third hour has begun. My name is Brian Craig. This is Where Manga Comes to Talk, Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. That's right, on the radio since 1977. If you're on hold, stand by. Now, you guys have noticed Steve hasn't been here this week. I was hoping to have him back today, but I did want to tell you, Steve's been under the weather lately. And I was talking to Steve last night. There was also, not only is he very sick, but he... had a death that hit him pretty hard. Not in his family, outside his family, but a death that hit him pretty hard. And I was talking to him last night, and I said, "Well, you've been off all week." I said, "We need to have you on tomorrow, if it's just for a segment, so we can get a proof of life on the air." And he laughed and he said, "Okay," but he said, "I'm so sick, I don't think I can get." You know, when you're sick, you know, you got colds, you got flus. I know this is, for me, it's the most difficult part is to get up in the morning and get on the air, isn't it? All right, now, but anyway, I'm hoping Steve will be back with us on Monday. Okay, before we go back to the phones, I want to play this clip. AI scares the living daylights out of me. And I know I'm not alone on this. And I know a lot of people, we all like the new fancy things. And, you know, when the internet was new, we never envisioned what we would have today. And over the years, I've embraced all the updates and everything that come out with this show. And that's one of the things that has made this the longest running radio show is, you know, we always embrace new technologies. But this AI is scary as nobody's business. And I came across this. This is one of these experts talking about AI and what airlines are going to be doing with AI. And I wanted to play, this is some scary stuff. I know President Trump's talking a lot about AI and he's embracing it because once a technology is invented, it's out there. And he wants it based here, just like with the crypto. He wants the crypto based here, not Uzbekistan. And we want AI here, not, you know, in some Russian republic, right? I mean, you know, I get that and I agree with that. But AI scares the living daylights out of me on many, many levels. And this is just something new. Listen to this.
Delta Airlines just announced on their earnings call that they're going to start using some of these algorithms to price some of their tickets. And so imagine a world in which you have a death in the family, you have to go home for a funeral, and they know that through scraping your email. Wild. That is, you know.
Okay, do you understand? So when I'll play the rest of it. So what she's saying is, and this is from the airlines, calls, that the AI that the airlines are using, and this won't just be airlines, we're talking about everything. When you call them, they're immediately going to know how much you need those tickets. They're going to know before you even get a customer rep on the phone that there's been a death in your family and you got to fly across the country with your family for that funeral.
Delta Airlines just announced on their earnings call that they're going to start using some of these algorithms to price some of their tickets. And so imagine a world in which you have a death in the family, you have to go home for a funeral, and they know that through scraping your email that is, announcing when the service is going to be. They know you're in a tight spot, and so you're going to be charged much more because of that. There's so much data collected about individual people by data brokers, by this whole shadowy ecosystem that's just tracking you through your phone, through your browsing history, that there is a serious worry that companies will be able to do this.
Yeah, and that'll be in every aspect of your life. Can you imagine? That's scary to me. I don't hear anything about AI that doesn't scare the daylights out of me. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, it's Louise, the masked lady in Boca.
Yes, Louise.
I have to play the devil's advocate. I was in current events class yesterday, and I brought this up. Why? I hate to bring up the Epstein thing again. It's so boring. Why aren't women ever accountable? Why are they always chastising the men?
What are you talking about? I saw another. It seems like every week there's another female school teacher going to jail for having sex with a teenage student.
Yeah, but I mean, even in the Jeffrey Epstein case, were these girls kidnapped? Are women that stupid?
Yeah. When you're listen, it's been a long time since you were 16 or 17. Me too. And when you imagine you're a 16 or 17-year-old girl, you got a terrible home life, all of a sudden you're on some island with some guy, how you get out of that situation?
How did you get into it is what I want to know.
Well, it's,
At 16, I was a naive kid.
You're not
Today,
responsible. When you're before you're 18, before you're 18, you're not responsible. It really should be higher. 18's too young. Really should be 25 or 30 before you're a legal adult, tell you the truth.
But what I'm saying, they're making it like women are such dummies. They don't know what's going on.
Let me tell you,
Even if
yes.
you're 15, 14,
yes.
you know right from wrong.
No. When you get older, okay, you know how to manipulate people better. So these predators, these Epstein types, okay, they know how to manipulate the underage girls, and that's what happened. No, they have zero responsibility. All right, appreciate the call, mask lady. Oh my goodness, what a strange comment. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, it's Mike from Houston. How are you this morning?
All right, Mike, what's up?
Hey, so it's Open Mic Friday, right? We can talk about anything.
Yeah.
Reasonably.
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to talk about DNI's Gabbard's document release earlier this week. Okay, so there are a lot of people who are going, well, this is politically motivated, and this is all part of a magic act, distract the masses from this topic by Trump. If it had been anyone other than Colonel Gabbard, I would have been suspicious. But Colonel Gabbard is a woman of such sterling integrity and probity that I believe it. I haven't read the documents, but I believe that everything that she's produced is the truth. Okay, I have no doubts about it. And the other thing I was going to say is she came out on nationwide television and she dropped the T word on Obama, and that she did that in a forum where she did not enjoy immunity from defamation or libel. And that tells me, and this is a smart woman, and that tells me she's got the goods. And if you notice, nobody has come back with, I'm going to sue. I dare you, to repeat that. Nobody's.
In fact, Clapper said he lawyered up already. He's got. He's worried. He's worried.
Yeah, I think they all are. And the other thing I was going to say,
Comey's not worried. Comey's not. Comey's not. He's completely insane. You can see it in his face. He's completely insane.
Yeah, well, he's always been kind of out of touch. But the thing I was going to say is there are people that are saying, especially people, well, this is 8-9 years ago, water under the bridge, blah, blah, blah. No, I'm sorry. These people need to be put up on the stage, illuminated by the light of justice.
Look, this 8 years ago thing, how many times have you seen a story that somebody did some DNA test, and then they find out that their cousin, who's 85 years old, is a serial killer in California, like that Golden State Killer? I mean, they're getting people that are committing crimes. They got a guy the other day who was like 90 years old, I saw about a week ago, and he killed a girl back in the 70s. He just got it. You don't say, well, these are old crimes. We're not interested anymore.
Right.
I've never heard such a standard.
Well, the other thing is this, and we were talking about this years ago. This is a direct undermining of the democratic system, okay? And you can't allow people to get away with that. There has to be retribution. Well, maybe not retribution, but there has to be justice.
And what they were trying to do, when you use the coup word, between this Russia thing and the Mueller investigation, which came out of it, they thought, and this was their move, that Trump was going to be forced to resign from office and Mike Pence was going to become the president. That was their plan. And Megyn Kelly, a lot of people don't know this, she's an attorney. And I was listening to Megyn Kelly talk to that Tlaib guy that had the Twitter files. And, she's interviewed him a couple times this week. And she shouldn't, he's a good guy, Tlaib, but this is not his strong suit. But anyway, she said, and again, I'm not a lawyer, but she is. She said statute of limitations doesn't kick in until somebody finds out about the crime. And these documents were hidden. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what she said. That was her legal opinion. And she's an attorney, Well,
even if the statutes of limitations have been exceeded, I still think there has to be a public accounting. We have got to put these people in the spotlight and show the heinousness. And I'll tell you, there's something else. A couple of days ago, you were asking, why would they do that? Was this the Obama got upset because of the birthright? I personally think it's beyond that. People like Obama and Brennan don't get to that position by being easily right. These people put their cause first. It's about the only thing positive I can say about them. It's a terrible cause, but they put the cause of Marxist-Leninism first. They will lie. If you ever read Whittaker Chambers' witness, he talks about.
Listen, let me tell you. I'll tell you why. Let me slow you down because you're on to something here, and I'm late for the break, but you made a good point. If I was just thinking about this last night, and since you brought it up, I'll bring it up now. Here's the deal. One of the first things, do you remember one of the first things that Trump did when he was president the first time? One of the big things, and a judge came in and stopped him. Do you remember what it was?
No, I don't.
The Muslim ban.
No.
The Muslim ban. Remember that?
Right.
And all these Muslims we have in the country that are trying to take over New York City and the Somalians of Minnesota and all this stuff, that's all Obama's doing.
Right.
And the Muslim ban was something that was very much talked about. And I believe that Barack Obama is a Muslim and he was bringing Muslims in here to transform this country. And by the way, he believes he's a Muslim because he told George Stephanopoulos, my Muslim faith, remember. The Muslim ban, I think really, when you think about it, that's what he was trying to stop.
Well, look at where he lives in D.C.
That's right.
It's on the same block as the National Mosque. That's not coincidence.
At the time he bought, it may not be true now, but at the time he bought the house, it was the only mosque in the city. I remember that being reported.
Yeah, it's the only one. Now, if you go over into Fairfax County, we're up in D.C. visiting family. I wound up driving by. I think it was on Ox Road or something like that, and I was kind of surprised because
who would live on this? Who would live on the street of? I wouldn't live on a street of a mosque. First off, that prayer thing going 5 times a day, but there's
But the other, like I said, the last thing I wanted to say was that these people are diehard Marxist-Leninists. The cause comes first. to them. They will lie.
Yeah.
They will lie to your face. They will spread misinformation. That whole dossier, that whole cabal, that whole thing was all about keeping the football moving downfield. They were going to so throttle President Trump. If they couldn't get him out of office on the first term,
Yes.
they were going to so throttle him that he wouldn't be able to get a single thing
That's
done
correct.
until their next candidate came along.
Yeah. Listen,
So,
I gotta
anyway,
run, but I'm very late for the break, but good points. It was worth running 4 minutes late. We'll be right back. We'll be back in just over a minute. If you're on hold, hang in there. We'll take some calls when we get back. I love this. This just is the best. Don't you love that? Trump did such a great job with that guy. Less than a minute, we'll be back. If you're on hold, hang in there. Okay, we're back. Let's go right back to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian. Good morning. It's JJ from Mass.
Hey, JJ.
You know, watching Trump and Powell yesterday
Oh,
was
brilliant.
pretty damn entertaining. Powell, he kind of reminded me of this elite guy, city guy, goes out to the countryside, a rural area, to a farm, and he's looking at all the animals in the pasture, and he points at one of the animals, and he asks the farmer, why doesn't that cow have horns? And the farmer just looks at him and says, well, that cow is a horse. He just looked so out of place.
You know what you're right on the money with that. And what he is, he's a typical government worker. He doesn't know jack about jack. And he's in charge of our economy and our lives. I mean, that was the most humiliating moment that a president has ever brought on an individual, ever in public, live on television. Never that was history yesterday.
It did not get it just doesn't instill confidence, and that's what Trump is doing. He's bringing back the competence and caring. He's got the most his cabinet.
Well, what Trump did, President Trump's been talking about this jerk even on the campaign trail at the rallies about the interest rates, and he said, you know what, I'm going to show everybody what an incompetent guy this is. Let's go through his big dig. Okay, let's go through his construction site that's $1 billion over budget and show everyone how this guy can't handle his own personal finances of his own budget, and he's telling us how to run the economy of the United States, the largest economy on the planet.
You always talk about when you're talking about Jupiter Joe Thomas and his credibility, and don't take financial advice from somebody living in a van
exactly
down by the river. And Powell looked to me like he was looking for some gas for his van. It was just complete incompetent. Trump is at home. And
that's a reference to Saturday Night Live when it was funny, guys. Okay, Chris.
Yeah.
Okay, if you don't know. And a van down by the river. Yes.
Down by the river.
Yes.
And Trump is just, he's at home, eating a Big Mac. He's at home at a UFC event or at home meeting the Queen. But he is most at home, walking around a job site, a construction
I know,
site.
Isn't that something?
And this, Powell just, God, he just looked so out of place and fragile and weak and it was just really,
this
really
is, everyone knows, even the people that hate Trump recognize that he's a competent builder and who's efficient and has done things that no one else could do, and this yesterday afterwards, Eric Trump said he could take it over and finish it, and I would love the president to appoint Eric and Don Jr. to be part of a presidential task force to finish up this mess. It would be done so fast.
Trump is fixing. This is what Trump is doing. Trump and his kids could definitely do that. Trump has been fixing the mess. Having Powell at the Fed is like having Biden at the White House.
Yeah.
Trump is now fixing the mess of Biden, and he can go fix the mess of Powell. But one of the things I think I heard mentioned, or maybe it wasn't, was the appointments. Trump's been having some problems with his appointments, and they're going to go on recess. I heard a lot of people complaining here and there, smart people, about, you got to stay in, you got to, don't go on recess. And I'm like, no. Let them go on recess because they are really slow walking.
Look what happened to Alina Habba. This thing with Alina Habba was, her term was up, so those liberal judges threw her out, and Trump reappointed her.
Yep. Well, he'll have the most recess appointments. I'm hoping they both, we control both houses, the House and the Senate, so they both go on recess, and Trump can do recess appointments. And then they're good for a year, and during the course of that year, they can then go and get confirmed. Because right now, Trump is doing all the right things at the top, but a lot of the positions that are down in the middle and lower, where they make sure that his policies are being carried out, the Democrats are stalling. It's sort of like a George Soros slow.
And I'll tell you, Judge Janine, she's a temporary appointment, but her confirmation made it through committee to go to the full vote yesterday. And I could be wrong about this, but I suspect that Judge Janine, once she gets that confirmation and she is the official United States Attorney for the district, that's when we're going to start to see some charges. I think they're waiting on Judge Janine to take the lead.
Yeah, I don't, before, exactly. The hunt begins.
Mm-hmm.
The hunt begins.
All right, I got to run. Appreciate the call. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
It's Mario, Cuyahoga Falls, and I am calling to finally put...
Okay, well, that's good. All right, go have your nice day with your nice language. Oh, since JJ had mentioned Jupiter Joe Thomas, I do highlight that he's based out of Jupiter so much because when you're taking financial advice, you want to take financial advice from someone who's financially competent and successful, and that's Jupiter Joe Thomas. Give him a call. Talk to him about annuities. He'll tell you how you can turn your money into guaranteed income for the rest of your life. There's all kinds of things out there. IRAs, 401ks, all this stuff. None of those, no matter what they are, stocks, bonds, they don't guarantee you income for the rest of your life. And with an annuity, you are. And that's a great thing. That's a great thing. When you call Joe Thomas, understand this, okay? He's offering you a free consultation, which you can take advantage of no matter where you are in the United States. And he's going to put together a custom proposal based on you and your situation. These are not cookie-cutter proposals, okay, which is a very important thing to understand. Ask him about that 10% bonus. You can get a 10% bonus on some of these annuities before you leave his office. That's absolutely amazing. Give him a call. Let him run the numbers for you and get that custom proposal. 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. And if you missed the number, you can find it on his website, jupiterjoe.com. All right, we're coming up on the final stretch. It is open phones every Friday on the program. We call it Open MAGA Mike Friday. You can call in about any and everything on your mind. You don't have to comment on anything I brought up. And we'll take our break for the bottom and be back with your calls. Our number is toll-free, 1-888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. 2631. We'll be right back.
You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. It's Frank from West Palm. How you doing there?
All right,
Brian,
Frank.
you were absolutely correct. LaPorta Roofing was amazingly phenomenal. They just completed my roof last week, and LaPorta Roofing was superb in all ways imaginable when installing the new roof on my residence. Tom LaPorta meticulously spearheaded the entire project from inception through to the finalization of the assignment. Tom handled all the paperwork involving city permits, inspectors, and my community HOA. He was always available, ensuring me that he had my back in all phases of the project. Additionally, Tom, Scott, and Dan, and the entire crew were very well organized with the plan, consistent with all policies and procedures, and craftsmanship was exemplary in all stages of the design execution. Tom, Scott, and Dan maintained continual contact with me, the homeowner, asking if there were any questions I had or anything further I needed. LaPorta Roofing is, in every respect, a stellar, 5-star, AAA, family-owned company that is a reliable, peace-of-mind roofing organization. These guys are spot on with regards to perfection, and they demand it. I remain mesmerized upon the completion of the job. My roof is a masterpiece. And one last thing before I forget, they were the least expensive quote that I received out of 4 quotes for roofing. I thank Tom LaPorta Roofing for all that they do.
Wow, Frank. Well, thanks so much. Tom LaPorta at LaPorta Roofing. He covers both the east and west coast of Florida and everywhere in between. He works with every type of structure, residential, commercial, municipal, and he works with every type of roofing material. Also, don't forget, Tom LaPorta will never sell you a roof you do not need. If you need just a simple repair, he'll do it. He can also handle the job of any size, whether it's a single-family home or an HOA with over 200 units. Give him a call. This number rings directly to Tom LaPorta's cell phone, 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. And online, LaPortaRoofing.com. Frank, thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Brian. You have a wonderful day.
All right, we'll be back in about a minute. Actually, less than a minute, about 30 seconds, we'll be back. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on this Open Manga Mike Friday. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Dan from Palm Beach Gardens. How you doing?
All right, Dan. What's up?
No, just wanted to touch base on this Powell situation. He was so condescending yesterday.
Oh, wasn't it?
President.
Yeah.
You know, get rid of that dude. And I know there's some political crap in the way, but...
Well, he's got, 6-7 months left. And now what's going to happen when Trump announces who his replacement is going to be, he's going to have 100% support because he showed what an incompetent boob had been running the joint. So whoever he picks is going to have so much support. It's just going to happen. It's going to be without effort. That moment yesterday, that whole tour was planned by Trump. For all of this, he planned on taking him through and humiliating him like that. It was not an accident.
Good, because Trump has lined himself with some phenomenal professional people, and to have this person stand there and shake his head as our president is talking. No, if I would have been there, I would have slapped him.
He's called the president a liar. You know, the way that Powell reacted, though, is how the permanent Washington class, that's how they all feel about Trump. They just usually hide it. But I did not even know that this construction was going on. I don't think most people did. Who pays attention to that? And when I heard that the president was going to the Fed, I thought, okay, why? I didn't really understand why, and I didn't think it'd be that interesting. And then I turned it on, and I saw him, and I knew why right away. Somehow he came up with, somebody told him how over budget they were on the construction, how long it's been going on, and he said, let's go. And if this guy cannot handle his own finances in his own department, how can he make decisions that affect the entire global economy? Because how the American economy goes affects the whole planet. And that moment at the end when Powell acted like an idiot, that wasn't planned. Who would have known? And, you know, the president was like, oh, this is awesome. I've been tarring and feathering this guy all afternoon, and now he's giving me this to end on. This is great. And I mentioned this to a caller earlier in the show. When you watch that, the president ended that real quick because he understands comedic timing, and he saw this is it. Let's go. We're done. You know, it doesn't get better than this.
Yep. No, I'm glad that our president did and how he did it.
Mm-hmm.
That was
beautiful.
Like a slap in the face without using his hands.
Yeah. All right. You know, and I, at the time, now I don't know how it is today because he's seen the feedback, but Powell, I don't think realized how humiliated he was at the moment. He hates Trump so much. He thinks he's better and smarter and everything else. He had no idea he was being humiliated.
Exactly.
That's what a clown he is. All right. Appreciate the call, man. Take care. All right. If you're on hold, hang in there. I wanted to play this clip. This whole thing on the Tulsi Gabbard release. Oh, this is old news.
Ryan, the administration clearly looking to change the subject from Epstein to Obama, making these baseless claims. What are the details?
Baseless claims. They have documents, right?
This document DNI Tulsi Gabbard had released yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, this gets really, really into the weeds here, Anna. I mean, what you're talking about is something that happened so long ago, first of all, and making...
It happened after the Epstein stuff. Epstein's been out of circulation for a long time. He's been dead for 6 years, you know, and he was out of circulation before that. This Ana Cabrera, by the way, who's Mexican-American, do you think being Mexican-American factors into her hatred of President Trump? But a thing about these documents you got to understand is this. I may have explained this yesterday, but I between this and everything I do online and my podcast, I forget where I said what sometimes. But these documents had been hidden for years. Obama ordered these fake narratives to be put in these intelligence reports. So when they keep pointing to Republican members of Congress or in the committee with Ted Cruz, they said there was collusion. They were basing their findings on the false intelligence that Obama had them craft. And the people in that room were getting more names all the time with Obama. Brennan, Clapper, Comey, Susan Rice, Loretta Lynch was in there. Biden was in there. We're getting new names all the time. This radical cell of lunatics. And the way to look at it is this. If some guys that work at the U.S. Mint, where they print up the $100 bills, got together after hours and said, we want some money ourselves, and printed up $10 million in $100 bills and left with them, would they look like counterfeit bills? No, because they were made through the same process as the regular $100 bills. Well, that's what's happened with these fake intelligence reports. They had the same people craft them through the same process on the same documents and everything else. So they look real. It's total fiction and made up at the order of Obama. So that's why Ted Cruz's committee and all these others said there was Russian collusion, because that's what the intelligence report said. They didn't know they were fake. The documents showing everything was fake have just been declassified. They were hidden from even the president in his first term. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Scott from Kansas City.
Hey, Scott. What's up?
I've been busy, but I haven't seen too much of this business with Powell and the hard hat situation. But I've seen it on the side, and it's part of something I've been thinking about. I'm going to throw it out to you, and I like your feedback. Trump has been in the construction industry in the 1980s, in the 1990s. It's his turf. He knows his way around it. And what I was thinking about, I've seen this Powell thing, and now he humiliated the guy.
Oh, yeah.
But something I don't know about, and I'd like to know more about it, is when Brennan and Comey and the other Cloak and Dagger gang came to Trump with the dossier. If that happened, well, Trump, in his past, and we don't know it, but we can make maybe guesses, is Trump has had to deal in construction in New York City and other East Coast cities. He had to deal with politicians on the take.
Yep.
And he's had to deal with the mob.
Yeah, sure.
And unions.
Yeah.
Something that vying for the presidency, the governor of California and the governor of Illinois embraced, because that's part of their family heritage.
Yeah.
But Trump, and so we don't know about it, but I think Trump told him to,
yeah.
Comey and
yeah, even on that, we've
down.
known about this meeting since almost it happened, but but we learned more about it. With the dossier thing, it was always Comey. We learned that Comey went with Brennan and Clapper from Tulsi Gabbard this week. I've talked about that for years. I never knew that Brennan and Clapper were there too. They all went, pretending to go for a security briefing, but really they were trying to blackmail him with the fake dossier.
And that's exactly what the mob does in New York City.
Shakedowns.
I mean, we don't have firsthand experience of it here in Kansas City. They pretty well.
You know what? I bet you, I would not be surprised if we find out the Stormy Daniels story was a part of this operation. Wouldn't be surprised.
Oh, wow. Well, Ted, that was a little sketch of a thought I had, but yeah, now thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah. Well, listen. I appreciate the call. I don't think we've spoken before. You brought up some good points, man.
All right, take care.
All right, take care. All right, if you're on hold, hang in there, guys. All right, it is Open MAGA Mike Friday. You can call in about any and everything you want on Open Phone Friday at 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, good morning, Brian. It's Jim from New York. How you doing?
Hey, Jim. What's up?
Good. So real quickly, it's amazing how when they mention about this thing with Obama trying to frame Trump, the media, oh, it's baseless. It's not based in fact. But when it was the Russia collusion fairy tale, it was gospel.
Mm-hmm.
They're such disingenuous. They're so disingenuous.
Mm-hmm.
Ridiculous.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about
that's
it.
all I had today.
All right, appreciate. Well, hey, I like a caller who knows when they're out of material. Very few callers know that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now, if only
Have
Joyce
a great
Kaufman
weekend.
could figure that out, her show would be a lot shorter. I want to just mention another quick thing here. If you're on hold, hang in there. Stephen Colbert, the other night, he came out and used the F word towards Trump, and he made some micro penis joke yesterday. This guy, I don't think he's going to last this year. He is so unhinged. And you know what's scary to me? This micro penis thing, the F-bomb thing the other night towards the president, this show of his is not live. If it were live, this is taped. How many people have to go through this, okay, to make it to air on a tape show? And I was talking, there's something going on here, and I'll tell you what I think it very well may be. A normal person who had some sense and some sanity, unlike Stephen Colbert, if this happened to them, they would say, he's a lifelong comedian. I heard an interview with him on Conan O'Brien's podcast a few months ago. And they were at Second City together, and he was sleeping on some couch at somebody's house that Conan set up before they were famous and everything else. So he thinks he's like this comedian. A normal, sane person in that situation would prove that they're as great as they say they are, and spend that year doing great programming, driving the ratings up, and parlay that into another job. But the F-bombs, the micro penis last night. So how's this making it to the air? CBS, everybody has a contract like this with moral clauses. And contracts, everybody wants a contract in broadcasting. And people don't understand contracts. Contracts always benefit the employer, And Steve and I do not have a contract with each other, by the way. We just have a gentleman's agreement about everything. I think CBS is trying to get rid of Colbert. If they get rid of him, they don't have to pay him the $20 million for the rest of the year. And they may have an idea of firing. He's doing a very good job of giving them all kinds of reason to take him off the air and plug somebody else in. He's out of control. And it's very unusual. When this announcement came down the other day, I told you guys, I said, it's very unusual for someone to get fired and then be on the air still because they're ticked off. They could go on the air and say anything. Yet he's doing it every night on a taped program that's still making it to air, saying disgusting, stupid things like this that are beyond the boundaries of good taste. CBS is trying to get rid of him without having to pay him the $20 million or any severance deals they may have. I'm telling you, that's what's going on here. And it's probably going to happen. Now, there's also a lot of talk about the View going on hiatus that Joy Behar announced. I don't think Joy Behar made that announcement on accident. I think she did it on purpose to put a spotlight on it. She said, we're going on hiatus. We have one more show. Am I allowed to say that? That show was live. She knew exactly what she was doing. Joy Behar, I know some people are saying they're not going to cancel. They're not canceling The View. They're just going on a regularly scheduled hiatus. Joy Behar's in fear of it being canceled, or she wouldn't have said that live on the air. That was an SOS. She wanted a spotlight on her in that show so that they wouldn't get canceled. That was a very desperate attempt. And it is not a coincidence that these shows are in danger and being canceled after the closure of USAID. CBS hasn't been just losing $40 million a year off this blowhard. They've been making the money somewhere. And the USAID being shut down has a lot to do with these things like Colbert going off the air. Now, I'm very excited. Coastal Weight Loss Secret. I'm so excited. I've lost all this weight without exercise, no prescription medications like Ozempic, and of course, eating foods I would normally eat. And today I'm wearing this really cool Alligator Alcatraz t-shirt that my wife got for me recently. And this is one of the first shirts, certainly t-shirts, that my wife has bought me since I lost all this weight. And it's a form-fitting t-shirt, and it feels great, and it looks great. I can see myself on the monitor online, if you guys watch me on YouTube. My torso is so much smaller, and before I had to get t-shirts that were larger because I had a belly, which is gone now. I got a flat stomach now, thanks to Coastal Weight Loss Secret. So I had to get these shirts that were really too big everywhere else except the belly, right? And this shirt, it's form-fitting. It's fitting me perfect. My stomach's flat, and I see it. You know what people tell me the most about all the weight I've lost from Coastal Weight Loss Secret? I hear this a lot. You look younger. Yeah, I hear that a lot. It's great. Listen, call Coastal Weight Loss Secret. No matter where you are in the United States, we've had listeners from all over America call them, and they're losing weight. It's great. I'm in the maintaining phase now, and because I didn't make any major lifestyle changes, the maintaining phase is effortless. I love it. Give them a call. When you call, make sure you tell them you heard about them on the True Oldies channel, 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300. And online, coastalweightlossecret.com. Callers on hold, stand by. We'll take a break, come back with the Gold Report, and your calls after this. Hey, hold on. All right, welcome back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show, and it's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated in Boca with our final gold and precious metals report of the week. William Youngerman, how are the metals looking?
Metals in a nice pullback, giving us another bargain time to take advantage of the dip and this trading range that has been going on for months. Gold finding support around $3,300 and resistance up above the $3,400 price range. And yesterday we saw, after we got up to over $3,400 this week, pullbacks pushing gold down to $3,367 yesterday, which was down $18.70. Silver was down 17 cents at $39.01 the ounce. Platinum closed down $3 at $1,409, and palladium was down $44 at $1,232. The run down continues this morning as we see gold down another $30 at $3,337, and silver down 26 cents at $38.75. Platinum down $27 at $1,382. And palladium down $17 at $1,215. So again, these are numbers we've been seeing for most of the summer months, back and forth from 3,300 to 34. So, and silver is still maintaining pretty nicely above the $38 nice. So these pullbacks are certainly to be expected in a market that's as high as these numbers are. So this has been just very typical of this market, and like all we can do is continue to say, when you see the pullbacks, take advantage of the dip and buy.
No doubt. Are most people like, they're a gold person and they're a silver person, or do people mix and match a lot? And how much gold and silver should people own percentage-wise? What do you see when it comes to that?
Well, that's a good question. The silver, which has been on a good move lately, it has been a great vehicle, but the problem with silver for a lot of people is storage and the very weight of it.
Yeah.
So, and of course, we've said before, gold is a true money that is viewed as money by the central banks and worldwide, and has been for 5,000 years. Silver has become more of a commodity, although a scarce commodity and a very desirable commodity. So it just depends on what your physical capabilities are of holding the different metals. We recommend and have recommended at least 75 or 80% of your positions be in gold, and the other 20% or 25% in silver and possibly platinum.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
And those items can be traded back and forth. We see that from time to time. When silver takes a big run, people tend to trade their silver back in for gold, and when gold takes a big run, or vice versa. So the opportunities avail yourself to the ability to trade the metals back and forth with us, and that's very easy to do and with very small commissions.
Well, listen, guys, William Youngerman opens up at 10 a.m. You can stop in Boca on the first floor of the Bank of America building, just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. You can't miss that big Bank of America building. The address is 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca. You can give him a call toll-free, 1-800-327-5010, 1-800-327-5010. And online you can find both his phone number and address, WilliamYoungerman.com. All right, William Youngerman, we'll talk on Monday.
Okay, have a great day. Nice weekend.
All right, take care. Now, there was a poll that just came out. This is a great one. This is the 2028 presidential poll. It's Vance versus some of these Democrats. And, of course, I am supporting President Trump's reelection in 2028. But this is just, interesting thing. Look at this. Vance v. Newsom. It's 45-42 Vance. Buttigieg. It is 44-43. Buttigieg and Vance versus AOC, 44-41. So JD is ahead against everyone in that poll. And this far out for a vice president, that's absolutely amazing. That's a left-leaning poll, by the way. That was a poll of registered voters, an Emerson poll. You can find all of it there. And registered voters, those are the ones that are most liberal. So even in a liberal-leaning poll, they don't have a Democrat pulling even really in any threat to J.D. Vance's numbers. All right, let's take a couple more calls. It is Open MAGA Mike Friday as we get to the home stretch. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
John Okeechobee.
Oh, hey, John.
Well, I was going to tell you about the Federal Reserve. Milton Friedman said they always moved the wrong direction at the wrong time. And that was back in the old days. He critique them like that. But nowadays, with electronic transfers of money, funds, and all that kind of stuff, they can't possibly keep track of what's happening in the economy. They need to go out of business. They need to just close up the bank and send them home.
Yeah. All right, John.
That's what Trump believes too, by the way.
Yeah. How you been? Have you been doing well, or?
I had a reoperation on my hip.
Oh, no.
I've had a hard time getting adjusted after that. I broke the first one. It pisses me off how I did it, but I broke the first one. I had to have them do it the hard way the second time.
Oh, my goodness. But you're doing okay now?
Yeah.
Okay, good to hear that. All right, man. It's good to hear from you, John. All right? All right. Appreciate the call. All right. You know, when you guys get your trust with attorney Barry Siegel, you can put a provision in there to reach out to the Steve Kane Show to let us know when you pass. You know, some of our listeners do that. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Brian. Larry. I'm calling from Fort Lauderdale.
Larry in Fort Lauderdale. What's on your mind?
Yeah. Well, you know, they're talking about why are we going back so far? Obama was
8 years.
so long ago. Yeah. Wasn't President Trump sued and even convicted in a civil court for that, E. Jean Carroll lady?
From the 90s.
35? Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems like that's a little longer than 10 or 15 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, see, you know, if you got a D next to your name, you're James Bond. You have the license to do whatever you want.
Exactly. Great show, Brian.
All right, take care. All right, we're getting into the lightning round phase. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air.
Hey, Brian, Mike in Fort Lauderdale. How are you?
All right, 2 callers a row from Fort Lauderdale. We're hot in Fort Lauderdale today. What's on your mind?
I know it's kind of late. I don't know if you discussed this, but did you happen to see Laura Trump's interview with the 3 ICE agents on Saturday evening?
With the ICE agents? No, I missed that.
Yeah, it was classic, man. It's unbelievable what they're going through with the public attacking them, the Democrats putting them down and trying to, prevent them from doing their job. It was a great interview. I mean, if you could catch it, I don't know if you can catch it somewhere.
Yeah, I'm sure I can find it online. It was on her Fox show.
Yeah,
I'll look it up.
Yeah, it was unbelievable, man. What these guys have to go through trying to defend, the American people.
Mm-hmm.
It's really crazy.
Lara Trump with the ICE agents. They certainly are. I mean, I'm glad they got that guy that was throwing the rocks at the ICE agents in L.A. That was awesome. He was shocked. He was hiding out in Mexico, and the Mexican police grabbed him for us.
It's just hard to believe that people are against this, They're more concerned about them than the actual victims.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I know.
This world, so.
Well, thanks for the tip.
To say. Have a great weekend.
All right, Mike in Fort Lauderdale, take care. If you're on hold, stand by. It's the weekend, right? In just a couple of minutes. Doesn't everyone's weekend start at 9 a.m. on Friday? Listen, if you have aches and pains, go see Dr. Appleton. Walk-ins are welcome. Appointments are never necessary, even on Saturdays, tomorrow. And when I go see Dr. Appleton, it's usually on a Saturday. And when I tell you that the laser away pain treatment works, it works. I've gotten my life back. He's rid me of pain 7 times. Many of the pains I've had for years, decades. That arthritis that he rid me of. I mean, I've heard about arthritis my whole life, but it's one of those things you got to experience and understand. Arthritis it's just so bad. I was doing everything. And I went to see Dr. Appleton, and this was the arthritis in my hand. And he examined me. He says, Brian, you have arthritis. And I said, I'm done. All I hear about that is, that's it. I'm done. And he says, no, the laser works with the arthritis. He treated me. He rid me of my arthritis pain in my hand. And that was over a year ago, and the pains have not returned. It's amazing. Give him a call and say bye-bye to your pain too, all right? Dr. Appleton performs all the treatments himself, by the way. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. That's 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonCairo.com. All right, we got 2 minutes left, so I'll try to squeeze in a couple people on hold. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, good morning, Brian. It's Lenny from Coconut Creek.
Hey, Lenny.
How you doing?
All right.
I know it's short. It's almost 9 o'clock. Just real quick, this thing with Jerome, it was absolutely ridiculous. It reminded me of like a candy camera.
Oh, yeah.
When he pulled that paper out of his pocket,
it was beautiful.
It was like, smile, you're on candid camera.
Absolutely.
And his face, and the guy you had on for Laporta Roofing, it's appreciated, but...
and keep an eye out for my podcast later today. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. Okay, all right. You're trying to pussy. Every once in a while you get that. The rest of you on hold, hey, listen, I'll be back later today with a new podcast, and a lot of you may not know this, but I've reformatted my podcast. I do my podcast live here on YouTube and take live calls on my podcast. I still upload that to all the podcast platforms. The Brian Craig Show podcast is on all podcast platforms. But I do the podcast live in the afternoons right here on this channel, taking your calls, just like I do in the mornings. All right, been doing that, I guess, about 3 weeks now. And it's a lot of fun, so don't miss it. Make sure you subscribe, click that notification bell. All right, my name's Brian Craig. This is where MAGA